Hello everyone, welcome back to Vampyr. I think Dr. Swansea's in a bit of a pickle. Should we have a check?
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
We know him.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder
Solid
why
snake.
there's venom in your food.
Oh, venom.
Growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCullum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations.
Pruwen.
I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
There we go. We read about him. He was the
Leave
one
him,
sending
Jonathan.
letters about Thelma.
This is sacred ground. Neutral territory.
Oh, interesting, is it?
And I just had the carpet cleaned.
How do they know by looking at us? I don't get it.
By the sacred stole, this is very bad news.
What now?
Bad news indeed.
I'll ask, shall I? You couldn't just tell me. Dr. Swansea, you were really not useful. Before we talk to him, I just want to confirm that that is in fact what we read. Nope, didn't want that. Report about Pembroke. To Mr. Geoffrey McCullum. He was the one keeping track of Thelma.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing.
What?
This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I
No!
found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere.
No!
The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
No!
Very well. I'll help you.
I know this place means something to you. I have noticed how you suppress your appetite when around the staff and patients.
You need to know you can trust me, Edgar.
Can I
do,
trust you?
dear fellow, I do.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
No!
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Oh, we can't go to sleep. He's the pillar of the docks. Oh, we have so many issues right now.
Do you really believe they would come for us here? In such a public venue?
McCullum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
No! I interrupted an argument in Edgar Swansea's office after I came back from my sister's funeral. A man was there, Geoffrey McCullum, leader of the Guard of Prewen. He presently suspects the Pembroke Hospital of vampire activities. He immediately recognised me for what I truly am, a vampire. But he was not here for me, Sean Hampton. The man I saved from William Bishop's appetite was turned into a scowl and escaped the hospital after killing another patient. As the current administrator, Dr. Swansea fears for the sanctity of this hospital. Since I was the one who let the murderer, Sean Hampton, enter, I will retrieve him and restore the Pembroke's reputation, but I must act quickly if I want to protect any mortal who may cross Hampton's path. Another twist I did not see coming. Wow. I don't want to go to sleep. I'm scared about what... Why doesn't it load? He's the pillar, though. We didn't get any of his hints either. I know that's not an important thing right now, or is it?
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
I mean, I didn't like Harriet. She wasn't a nice person, but she didn't deserve this. We need to look. I'm sorry, I know it's sick. I bet they've locked the room off. Which way was she? She was this way, right? Oh, wow. Miss Brannigan, do you know anything? Or is this Pippa?
Good evening, Nurse Hall.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you need medical help?
I'm fine.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Everybody's afraid. Death has always been a frequent visitor. But murder? How can we cope with that?
As a nurse at this hospital, it is your duty to deal with these things as best you can.
Yeah. Until it's my turn to have blood spread all over the walls. I entered the room first, Dr. Reid. I've seen what that monster did to the woman.
Wow.
Goodbye, nurse.
Oh.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
What can you tell me about the recent events in the hospital?
That Mr. Hampton killed Miss Jones in her room, then ran away.
And did you see all this?
No. I was working by the tents when it all happened. I only entered the room when they asked me to clean up the blood.
Where is Miss Jones's
The
body?
morgue?
I don't know. I'd imagine the morgue. It all happened so quickly.
Did you see Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but... well, maybe it was him.
Your life in London?
Goodbye, nurse.
Okay, what about the patients? Would they have seen anything?
Is there any...
Many things can happen under cover of night, Dr. Reid. But I took no part in this massacre.
But did you see or hear anything?
I can't say I did, but the smell of fresh blood almost made me faint, Doctor.
I'll leave.
Tom? No, you're not Tom. What was your name?
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr.
Oh, it
Reid.
is Tom.
Can you tell me anything about recent events at the hospital?
Before the shouts and the noises, I think I heard whispers coming.
Did you recognize the voices? What did they say?
I couldn't hear. Sounded like they were arguing or something.
Okay.
Goodbye for...
Ew, disgust on every street corner.
Other things at the moment, Thomas.
Daily routine.
I'm assuming Strickland or no one else saw, but considering we can ask, I kind of want to know.
Good evening, Doctor.
And good evening.
Can you tell me anything?
I'm sure it was not your fault, Dr. Reid.
My
What?
fault? What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. It's just... I heard it was you who brought the murderer inside our walls. But you couldn't know, could you?
Let me guess, Waverley? Where is he?
As for me...
Good evening, Mr.
He was a
evening,
priest, dude. How are we supposed to
Please.
know?
Tell me about...
I heard Miss Jones call for help from her bedroom. There were some loud noises, like people fighting. All of a sudden, it went quiet. And then the nurse started screaming.
Do you know who the nurse was?
Not sure, but I think it was Nurse Hawkins.
We spoke to her.
Goodbye for now.
Sweet girl. Reads me like
You're a gossip. You're going to say something.
Good evening, Doctor.
What can you tell me about the recent...
It's a disgrace. How on earth can patients be attacked in their own rooms?
I mean, to be fair, she could be heard outside of her room, so there's that.
Goodbye, Mrs.
Can you talk?
Good...
I'm okay.
What can...
I had shouting coming from the first floor. I was asleep when it started.
Okay, American first floor or otherwise, because...
I'm alright.
First floor for me would be upstairs. Hello, you nice fellow.
I'm quite busy right now.
What can you...
Nothing like this would have happened if we'd had enough staff and proper shifts.
Really?
So you don't think the blame is ours?
We all hold fast here, Dr. Reid. Our methods may differ, but we are all trying to make a difference.
Do you think Dr. Strickland has any chance of curing the Spanish flu by himself?
His wish to cure the sick is not driven by pride, but by an idealistic view about our mission here. Honestly, I don't know which is worse.
You consider him a good practitioner, yet you will not report his methods.
Strickland may be a rival, but I will not use dirty tricks or regulations to prove him wrong. We are doctors, not politicians.
Nice! First thing you said I've agreed with.
What can you...
Nothing. We all...
Thank you for your time.
Okay, well, I mean, that's everyone inside the hospital. Right, let's talk to Rakesh. Please don't be here. Please don't be here. Is she just laying on the floor there? Hello, I'll type that. Thank you. Oh. Oh. Dear love, I finally found the missing money for the fee asked by the ambulance driver to bring you to the hospital. The fee? Milton, that's it. I'm not happy. Don't worry about nothing now except getting better. He's dead. I took care of everything. I asked some of our neighbours and they told me that this Mr. Hooks is something of an honest crook. Hooks? He may ask for extra money. Milton Hooks? In exchange... It's Milton! I thought it was Pippa, but the bed is then guaranteed. I'm sorry I refused to pay first. And I realise now that the important thing is that you get better soon. Wow, the Pembroke Hospital's a good place, I heard, despite the bad behaviour of this Milton. I promise you that everything's okay now. See, like, you're getting sacked, mate. No, you're out. I don't like you. I don't care if you got a weapon. Come at me, bro. I get you're probably trying to save money to help you and your, missus like to leave, but no. I can't talk to Rakesh. Hello, Rakesh. Can I get in there? Oh, how rude, though.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
Can you tell me anything about recent events in the hospital?
Oh, goodness me. This whole story is such a shame, sir. I have no idea how it happened.
What are you talking about?
Poor Miss Jones.
What?
Her body is missing. Someone stole it.
Has she turned? Oh, no.
Miss Jones's body has gone missing.
Yes. The body was brought here this morning, and now it's gone.
Who could have stolen a corpse?
That's exactly what I asked myself for the whole day. Who could do such a thing? These are terrible and shameful times, Dr. Reid.
I am uncomfortable. Oh, wow.
It's locked, all right.
I'm shook. This whole storyline has shook me. Hold on. My medical desk. Okay, we'll do that first, definitely. That sounds interesting. No one would steal the corpse. He wouldn't have stolen the corpse, and by he I mean Sean, I don't think. So what we're suggesting is that she's turned, yeah? Am I reading too much into it? Where are my items? $2,000 XP, still not worth it. Increase the stamina regeneration. I mean, I'm alright for that for now. What do you mean by bring it to my medical desk? This is my medical desk, no? Wait a minute. And there's a new dialogue. It is that way. What are you on about? Oh, wait a minute. One of these?
Strickland's project could be dangerous.
Nice. A small bottle containing the improved recipe.
I have a mind to report him to Dr. Ackroyd. The flower's dying. It needs water.
Well, how do I do that? Can I? Is there a cup or a glass or something? Who's Harvey? What? There's so much going on. Choose what to do about Strickland. Is there more details on that? Why did I need to make the medication if I'm just going to report him to Ackroyd? I'm giving it a go. This is a bad idea.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you.
Did you know Dr. Ackroyd never reported your experimental research, despite the fact he doesn't agree with it?
Really? I didn't suspect he knew about my work. I must confess I am surprised.
Perhaps he thinks you should realize for yourself the danger of what you're doing.
See how condescending he can be?
You're a bit gung-ho. I'm nervous.
I have managed to improve the mixture by diluting it. Have you ever heard of Sir Joseph Francis Olive, or the placebo effect?
No, I don't think so. Why?
A placebo is a substance or procedure that has no actual physical effect.
You made a placebo of my project. Why?
Research has established that a placebo, as long as the subject believes in the effect, can provoke a positive physiological reaction.
Really? That's fascinating. And you want me to, what, administer the placebo and see what occurs?
Something like that, yes.
Well, I'm a bit surprised, but I trust you, Dr. Reid. Please take the key to my cabinet and put this placebo there for future use.
Are you joking?
Goodbye,
Backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards. It's nearly as annoying. Oh, what was that? Was that just a poster? Was that just isn't like... Oh. Okay.
It's locked. It's
well,
locked, all right.
I want it to open.
At least Strickland can't kill anyone with this formula.
Okay.
It's locked.
I want it.
It's locked, all right.
That's probably why everything's locked. Uh-oh. Ackroyd. Despite the actual urgency of the sanitary situation, I must inform you of a recent case of professional misconduct inside the Pembroke. Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan has been found guilty of undeniable unprofessional conduct, and thus guilty of endangering a patient. Oh no. I mean, he's been right on the money so far, let's be honest. You know me, Edgar, I'm not against personal initiative when it's for the interest of all, especially during a crisis, but we can't allow a nurse to perform a diagnosis and decide on a procedure to apply to a patient. The fact that said patient survived is no attenuating circumstance. It just means we dodged the bullet this time. I demand the strictest authority on this matter. What did she do, this woman? Honestly, Brannigan. Oh, everything's happening. Who's Mr. Goswick? I can't remember. The patient shows many signs of extreme fatigue and major sores on the throat. Oh, yes, of course. Mouth and tongue, but no sign of flu. Refuses to speak, claims too painful. Needs rest and healing of throat mucous membrane before any decision can be made concerning his release. Major sores on the throat, mouth and tongue. Looks like a burn. Huh. Pippa, actually.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening,
Doctor. It's you. You suck.
According to the report I read, your unprofessional conduct put a patient in danger, Gwyneth.
That's not true. I know when my patient's life is at risk, and I'm more competent than a lot of doctors that I know. Problem is, I'm a woman.
I don't see what your gender has to do with your abilities, nurse.
Yes, nurse. Because I'll never be a doctor, no matter what my skills. I could make a decision that could save a life, but oh no, that's unbecoming conduct.
Look, I don't know this woman, and as far as I'm concerned, she may be completely able to make diagnosis. But again, I don't know her. I would rather she come to me and I agree, and then we see how competent she is rather than her telling me. Personally, I don't know what to do here because she may be competent, but she may not. I don't know. Was it the right call? I haven't been told. I don't like that they haven't given us more options here, to be honest, because she's not going to like me for my answer.
I understand your frustration. During the war, I saw the skill and courage of the nurses on duty. But this is neither the time nor the place to start a revolution.
To have the right to study shouldn't be determined by sex, skin, or wealth. That's all I'm saying.
What's that got to do with the fact that you did that illegally? I don't disagree.
Goodbye, nurse.
But again, no. I'm sorry, but no. Can I talk to you about what I saw? Because I'm crazy.
Oh, Jonathan. I cannot believe my eyes. Poor woman. Butchered by some savage scowl.
Hello, Milton.
Yes, and I'm afraid I'm at least partially responsible. The man, the scowl, I brought him here.
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Forgive me if I feel despondent, for there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surrounds us.
I'm always here for you, Jonathan.
Interesting.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature, a vampire in Whitechapel, stating I had to obey the law of conduct.
What more can you tell me about him?
He was huge, dude.
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you, but rather out doing his master's bidding.
Who's his master?
What is Ascalon?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice and stay well away.
I don't think that's going to be a choice. You're really going to ask that, Jonathan? I don't think that's a good idea.
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with holy symbols or trying to enter religious buildings. Have you?
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes, it has happened to me.
What do you mean you don't know why?
Is this a sign? A hand of God in action? Are we repellent unto heaven?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan. But I believe superstition and magic is just fact awaiting the lens of science.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Have you embraced this woman, like the other patient, this Mr. Renfield?
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her. I vowed a very long time ago that I would never take another life, unless they ask.
Is there sufficient vitality in the blood of the sick and dying patients?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour. Frankly, I'm starving.
Could I interest you in some rats? Date night?
Temptation surrounds us. Rich, vital. How can you resist?
Over the years, any pleasure I once gleaned from feeding is long gone. I drink for sustenance. And though I still thirst for more, I restrain myself.
Good.
Thank you, my lady.
Still didn't talk about what I wanted you to. Okay, I think in the next episode, because we are getting long again,
Summer's epidemic was difficult.
we are going to talk to Milton immediately, and then we're going to head for the priest. I've forgotten his name already. Either way, I hope to see you all in the next one. And I hope that you all have a good one. See you next time.